Hey, how are you doing? So today we are doing another renovation. We've been carrying out loads and loads of renovations these last couple of weeks, and we've still got another 2 or 3 weeks of lots of renovations to get done. So I'm just going to go through this one. You may remember I've been here before over winter doing some tidying up. Well, this is how things look at the moment. So we're just going to get everything tidied up first. We're going to get this cut fairly short, and then we're going to begin the tidying up, the scarifying, the overseeding and the top dressing. Right, so I've just gone around the edges first, put a nice little edge in all the way around with the strimmer. It's fairly neat. The edging shears are in the van, but it's better than what we had. Now the purpose of today is just to get things a bit neater and do the scarifying and seeding. So why do we do this first? Hang on. Why do we do this first? Well, last thing you want to be doing is when you've done all your work, you've done your scarifying, seeding, dressing, and then you go around and do the edges. If you get to that point, then you've got all grass cuttings blowing about all over the place, all over the top. It looks a mess. Plus you're walking all over it and just catching it with your machines. So I like to get it nice and short and the edges sorted before we do any scarifying. So I'm going to get all this blown back onto the lawn, and then we're going to go over with the mower, get it all cut nice and short, and then we'll crack on with the scarifying. Over just to get it all a reasonable sort of level. Now you can just see it's chock-a-block with moss. Now this was done about 4 years ago, and since then we've not done any renovation work on it apart from mow and treat, and by and large most of it looks pretty good. But we've got the dog burns coming in now, which has just killed off quite a few patches, and it's all looking a bit tired and compacted because it feels hard underfoot. You can see this is where people walk in, and over there it's a bit more compact where we're putting the tree in, and that one. And when they're having all this work done, a lot of the items were stored around here, which has worn a lot of this away. So this is all going to get the renovation treatment as well. So we'll start off with some scarifying. Just want to help show you why we scarify. Now this has only been gone over once. You can feel it spongy here and not quite so spongy there. But when you ruffle the grass, you can't see down to the soil. All you can see is bits of brown and things like that, and that is that thatch layer that's built up on top of the ground surface. Whereas on this side it's a lot more free flowing. You can see little bits of soil through, so it's definitely thinned out the thatch layer. So I'm just going to give you a comparison here. So a scarified piece and a non-scarified piece. Just just dig a square. Okay, that's that one. And we'll come over to here. You can instantly, this feels harder to push down. You don't realise how much of a benefit Scarifying actually does. So we'll start off, this section here is the piece that has not yet been scarified. And when we dig that out, it's a nice healthy piece of turf. There's no grubs in there, which we can see. It's nice and firm. It doesn't pull apart easily, which means there are some good root systems going down. And we've got at least 5 or 6 inch there. So you can see here, this here is part of the thatch layer. Now surface thatch is more on the top and subsurface is more underneath. It's not quite so easy to see, but you can see there the amount of thatch and the brown layer that's built up. So that is a lot of subsurface thatch there. But there's a really good root system. You can see it pretty well on that one. That's acting like a bath sponge, like a thatched roof on a cottage. And what does a thatched roof do? It stops rain. It stops rain from getting into the house. A thatch layer stops water from getting down to the roots. It takes a lot longer, so it sits there, and in the summer it just evaporates. So that's that one. Now let's go to this one that we've scarified. Again, there's no grub activity, which I'm pleased about. Now, it pulls a lot easier now, as you can see how easy it's moving. We've only gone over this once, so we've still got quite a lot of that subsurface. Now that is generally removed when you holotine aerate. The Scarifying will remove some of that. Now I can't actually get the holotine aerator into this garden, it's too wide because the door's swelled. But when you holotine aerate, it'll punch a hole in the ground like that every 3 inches on a staggered basis, and that will pull out cores of that, and then everything can drain through. So I wanted to just show you some surface thatch and subsurface thatch, and when you scarify it removes the surface thatch. Perhaps this isn't the best example of a lawn, but at least you get the idea. If you cut a nice neat square, you can put them back in like that and just firm them down and just go like that with the grass, and that will all knit back together just absolutely fine. Well, what do you know? That's first pass. There's quite a bit that's come out, as is always the case. And yet, in places, it's done it perfect, and in others, there's still moss. You can still see some moss there, and there, and there it's nicely scarified. Pretty fine up here. There's just certain areas. I saw a space where there was quite a bit of moss, so I'll be going over a few spots again. Here we go. You can see the moss there, so it was quite thick there, so I'll be going over that bit again. Just got to get this cleared up. It's hard work, this. So that's the second Scarify done, and it's got the job done. You can now see the grooves running through all across the lawn. So that's all good. So what we'll do now, clear all this up. Right, so that's pretty much it. So we're going to get mower on. There's just a couple of bits where I'm not fully happy and just need to get the last few bits of thatch and moss out. There's just a little bit of moss left here, even though we've gone down to the soil and it's nice and firm. Just a bit moss there and it's all grouped together. So when we drop seeds onto that, they're not going to get down and touch the soil, and there's no grooves running in between that you can clearly see. So we're just going to go in the same direction. And that's just opened it up a little bit more. So then we'll come back at a different angle. And that's opened it up nicely now, so there's lots of soil there in and amongst all the tiny bits of moss. But I think that's about it. But it's always worth having a look and going round your garden just to see if you can spot any areas where the soil isn't sufficiently exposed to drop seeds in. Now this section here, there's obviously been no grass and it's now all pretty much soil. But down there, Scarify can't reach to the end. So we're going to break that bit there and just a few bits around here so we've got a good seed bed. So we'll just put you guys over here. You can watch me from the dahlia bed because this is where all the dahlias normally are. I'm sure I'll be back here in the summer and you can have a look. So as you can see, we've just given it a good rake and you can see the grooves in the soil now working round. So I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to get the mower, tidy it all up, and then we'll start the overseeding and the top dressing. Leave your lawn in this state and get loads and loads of water on it every single day for a few weeks and most of this will come back absolutely fine. But it's good to introduce some new seed varieties just to thicken things up and all nice, new and fresh, and then within a few weeks you'll have a nice lawn again. So for those that have never seen anything like this being done before, you may look at this and think, oh my god, what has he done? He's ruined the lawn. But no, we're just scarifying and I'm going to overseed it and top dress. So that's the seeding done. It's just become very windy, but they're not doing too bad. They're not really blowing about. As you can see, all done. So now we'll get the top dressing on. Right, so we're all done here, scarified. We haven't aerated, we've overseeded and we've top dressed, and it's all done and dusted, and that's what it looks like. A mess, but give it 3 or 4 weeks and it'll be looking a lot better, a lot nicer. Next time I'm back here, I'll do an update video so you can see how this and all the other ones are coming on since we've done the work. See you on the next one.